Going? Alright guys, what is going on? Today we are out here on a windy, wavy Leech Lake in northern Minnesota. A great walleye fishing destination, and I'm not gonna lie, it's like noon now, and we have been driving around the lake for several hours now looking for fish, and we're seeing a few fish, but we're not seeing anything that looks great. So we're actually on one of the first spots we stopped at, and we're gonna start trying to fish here. And it is so windy and wavy, we might try to do a little bit of jig pitching, but we're definitely gonna be doing some jig drifting, and we're gonna kind of talk about basically what we're doing, our plan of attack and everything like that. But in the fall, it's kind of common knowledge that a lot of these fish in these big Minnesota lakes like this, a lot of them push up shallow into some kind of shoreline point, shoreline flat, and some kind of hard bottom area generally. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. And like I said, we're gonna go into all the specifics. It's me, we got Mitch behind the camera. Yesterday we filmed on Winnebagosh, caught some walleyes there, kind of doing a similar pattern there. And today hopefully we're gonna catch some a little bit more quality Leech Lake walleyes. So stay tuned, we're gonna get it going. Let's catch some fish. I like that, Mitchell.
All right, I like that too. I just had a nice walleye absolutely thump my jigging
the motor. Dude, they are angry fish, man.
I like catching these.
Too much fun. Oh yeah, that's a netter.
It's a nice one.
Grab the net here. We're bucking all around. Oh, there we go, Mitchell.
Thanks,
that was
buddy.
at the end of my extended reach.
It was. We got it. Look at that. Walleye in the boat. That's what we're here for. Here we go. Nice little chunky fish. Jigging minnow. Shallow water. Getting it done. Let's get it back.
So thick, so healthy out here on Leech.
Yeah. Awesome lake. Don't like the wind though.
Yeah, it does get windy out here. Oh, I love it. Good work.
Let's do it again.
Got a fish on. It feels large. These Leech Lake walleyes are some feisty buggers. At least I really hope we got a walleye on here. I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah.
That's a walleye.
Nice walleye here. Mitchell actually has a pike on, so I'm gonna go ahead and net my own fish. You just wanna film me here, Mitchell?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Oh, your pike came off. Nice.
Perfect.
Look at that one. That's what we're after right there. And Leech Lake, every time I come here, it can take a little bit of time to get on fish. But when we're catching them, just the quality is unreal. They're just super healthy fish, and they are unbelievably feisty. I can't even grab this guy out of the net here. But look at that. Just beautiful Minnesota walleyes. Too much fun. Took us a little bit to get the pattern kind of going in together. But now that we're catching fish, ton of fun, super healthy fish. They fight super hard in shallow water on a jig. How can you beat it right there? Let's let them go. Too cool, awesome fish.
Doubled up. Oh my gosh. Sorry, Shirley.
All right, we literally got two on at the same time here, drifting. Mitchell started filming me, and I was like, dude.
Trying to film you in.
Mitchell, you got one on too.
Hold on, you're kind of.
All right, go for it, fight him.
Here, take the camera. Sir. Alright, still on. Wow, what a fiasco that almost turned out to be. Yeah.
Both gonna swing some spot lock.
Alright. He's here.
Bring him on over there, Mitchell.
Feisty fish here in Minnesota.
There we go. Doubled up, boy.
Good job, man.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I'm glad you noticed my rod tip going on. off like that.
I'd say we went through a pod. All right, guys, so we're literally just kind of drifting through some of this rock edge stuff. And it's tough to see like big pods, obviously, because we're fishing a lot of this stuff's heavy rock. And we're like, well, we'll just drift it out, kind of see what happens. It's so windy out, it's kind of tough to spot lock and cast. And I hooked up right away. And as Mitch was filming me, I was like, dude, you get your rods bouncing like crazy. And we doubled up. Awesome, couple of awesome Leech Lake walleyes there. Just let them go. Once you find a pod like this, a lot of times what you can do is just kind of go right back up, you know, kind of right where we were, maybe 20 feet in front of us, and then really catch them. All right, so basically what we're doing, we got two pretty similar setups going here. We're both fishing medium light Elliott spinning rods and super sensitive, one of my favorite jig rods. 10-pound braid. A lot of guys like doing this with mono, just because it's shallow water pitching, blah, 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 blah. The fish can eat it a little bit better. Braid's fine. One good tip is the second you feel that fish go dunk, just kind of drop your rod for a second, let them eat it, and then set the hook, right? Not much of a weight at all. We're fishing 1/4 ounce Kalen's Google-Eye heads. Little rattle in there. They're just a great jig overall for really plastics or live bait. And this has definitely been the color that we've been catching and having some success on out here. But this is kind of the deal right here. 1/4 ounce. You could probably go a lot lighter if it wasn't so windy and you could fish slower, a little bit more methodical. We're gonna be drifting so fast, you always wanna kind of size up a little bit when it gets crazy windy like this. And that's kind of the setup there. Super simple, super effective way to fish. That looks good.
It does. I don't know if it's the right kind though. Might be a nicer fish.
You got a big walleye on.
I sure hope so.
Might not even be that big.
I hope you're right. Yeah, they do fight really hard here. We like it. Ooh, this is a good one.
Feeling right?
Might want to get the net.
Oh yeah, nice walleye. Heck yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, I gotta bring him over to me. Feisty, feisty. Big wave coming. Look at that. Another nice big wave. Another nice big wave here.
Hopefully those waves will
look at that.
Catch a fish on that rod.
Perfect walleye. We'll give you a look. Jig's already out.
Look at this. These fish are just so stocky here. Every single one we catch, we're just like, wow, what a great looking fish. Awesome fish, awesome lake. Tom, you got one there?
Snag.
Snag, okay.
Came out. Nice
right.
fish,
We'll
healthy walleye.
Get him back in the water.
Catch some more. All right, so I've been informed we have horrendous water spots on the camera, but here's what it is. So basically what we're doing here, location-wise, we're tackling some of these bigger, flat points out here on Leech. And one thing you're gonna see a lot is that Leech is notorious for having these big transition areas, kind of where it'll be real sandy, and then you'll all of a sudden you'll go into rocks, and that's kind of the sweet spot where we're looking for fish, right? We would probably spot lock or spend a little bit more time right on that, but what we're actually doing is kind of drifting down these areas, right? And you can use the side imaging, you know, when you're kind of right in the fringe, you're seeing some rocks and some sand. And we dropped the Markham underwater camera down, and what we were seeing is some of this stuff was like a fringy looking weed that looks something, I mean, you can kind of see it here. And then we basically, what we'd get into is some of these bigger bouldery style rocks like this, and then that would kind of transition into a lot of rocks. And somewhere where it goes from that fringy weed to just lonesome big boulders and then into the other stuff is kind of where we're catching fish. We're not catching a lot of fish in that really thick rock, and we're not catching fish just out in the pure sand. So right in that transition area is where we're catching our fish.
Hooked up. Feels so good. Yeah. I'll tell you what, one nice thing about these huge waves is you can just set your rod on the side of the boat and up and down and not do anything. You'll still catch them.
Need a scooper?
Yeah. see what I'm talking about? This is what I was talking about. What just happened?
Better off not even jigging. When in Minnesota, you do Minnesota things, and I'm pretty sure that just means pretty much just lazy man fishing. You just kind of pitch it out there. You just kind of drift around wherever the wind might blow, and you catch nice walleyes. Ready? Give me a little flipperoo. Look at that. Crazy. Well, I do not do a lot of this drift style fishing because where I fish most of the time, there's just nowhere near enough fish in a lake where you can just like drift around and catch them. But here, when these fish start piling into a lot of these points, you can drift around and catch them like this. And this is like the second time we've had, actually it's like the fourth time we've had multiple fish on now. And one guy's caught one basically not doing anything, and those are some perfect Leech Lake keeper-sized walleyes right there. We're letting them go today. Super fun to catch though, and we are wrecking some Minnesota walleyes right now. Super fun, super cool bite, beautiful fall day. All right, so all we're really doing here, rigging up a little wiggly fathead. If you could get rainbows, I'd probably use those. And we're just kind of giving it a pitch cast out into the wind. And we're starting way past where we actually have to. The sweet spot's still behind us. But basically what I'm doing here is I'm going straight down to bottom. And you just kind of got to play with how much line you got out. So what I kind of want to do, I don't want my line to be like slack all the time, because that probably means I got way too much line out. So I'm going to reel in a little bit now. And I'm just going to pop it. And basically we're moving at about, anywhere from half a mile an hour to a mile an hour. And basically what I want to do is I want to be able to pop this jig, not reeling it all. I'm just kind of letting it hit the bottom. And you just kind of want to time your cadence with how much line you got out and how fast the boat's really moving. Now most of the time, one big tip here is that when you start catching fish doing this, the reason this technique is so effective is because when you start catching fish, drop waypoints, right? And a lot of times you can map your drifts out like that, right? You know, if we don't catch a fish for 50 yards, we're not going to come back and start our drift right where we did this time. We're just going to keep starting there basically right where we're catching fish, right? And it's an easy way where you can do this in this really big wind and effectively fish, number one. And number two, the biggest thing is that you can map these spots out and find out where there's fish, you know? If you keep catching fish, you know, in that same depth range, you know, a lot of times you could slide side to side and follow it that way. So that's kind of all we're doing. Now when you get a bite, most of the time, if you do feel it go, tunk your line, you'll just kind of drop your rod for a second. And if you don't, because it's so windy out, a lot of times you'll just go to pick up again. There'll be mush weight on there. Just kind of drop your rod and swing into them.
Another fish on. How's that camera looking? Can you see anything?
Camera's terrible, audio's terrible.
Yeah, well, as you can see, look at the 5-foot waves we have. My hat might blow off.
Oh, it is a nice one. I'll scoop them up for you, Mitchell. Oh, nice work, nice work. Alright guys, well that is going to do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this. I'm talking crazy loud right now. Hopefully this footage is salvageable somewhat. Found a whole bunch of walleyes out here on Leech Lake. Kind of drifted down a lot of these big rock points. Yeah, we'll definitely be back again this fall. Super fun fishing. We have a 10-mile ride back into the wind. And that's going to be super fun as well. But I appreciate you guys watching. If you're not yet, please subscribe. Stay tuned for more. We'll see you next time.